Hey.
Welcome, everyone. I think people are being admitted. Glad to have you here, everyone. This is I think we can just start. This is a drop-in session, so anyone is welcome to join. Um, um, so this is an Ask Me Anything session that EAS is offering, the first Ask Me Anything session that we're offering this for this conference. We had similar session in the EAS 2024. The idea is just to open the floor for any one of you for questions. You are welcome to share your questions or any concerns that you might have. We have here our team, the conference program team, Marta, Semplici, and John Lavelle. We also have Fedor from CUNY conference organizing team. I leave the floor for them also to introduce themselves, and I'm Hayat Asker, the communication consultant with EES. So, without further ado, I think I'll move it over to Marta and John as a start. To just feel free to introduce yourself and Fedor afterwards, and then we can just start by taking your questions. Yeah, Marta.
Mhm. Thank you, Hayat. Welcome, everyone. Hello. My name is Marta. I'm currently working as evaluation officer at the Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs in France. And I accepted the role and to take over this role of a pro bono conference program coordinator along with John. So I'm glad to be in front of you today and to answer your questions if you have any. Please, John, the floor is yours.
Oh goodness. Good morning or afternoon, friends. It's good to see you. My name is John Lavelle. I'm located on the other side of the pond. I'm in North America right now. I'm here, frankly, because I really enjoy evaluation and I want to put neat people together to have neat conversations. And I'm just thrilled to be able to work with Marta and Hayat and Fedor and the rest of the team. So. Yeah, I'll pass it over to Fedor to introduce themselves, and then let's have a good conversation. We're here to support you.
Hello, thank you for joining everyone and welcome. My name is Fedor. I'm working for CUNY the company that is responsible for logistics, tools, submissions that we gonna be supporting you on the all the logistics of this conference. Thank you.
Thank you all. Just like a disclaimer, this drop-in session is being recorded. Usually, we share that in our newsletter and we add it to our YouTube channel. So I hope you don't have any issue with that. If you feel uncomfortable or prefer to turn off your camera, feel free to do so. But yeah, so I think if you agree, everyone, we can just take the first question. If anyone would like to start, yeah.
It's always the hardest role.
Yes, Carlos.
The icebreaker, Carlos.
Yeah, I'm
Very
gonna
good.
get the ball rolling. So first of all, thanks for the introduction and for organizing this. It's super helpful. Yeah, so I have a couple very simple questions. I've been following the launch of the two calls, saw the results of the strands call, so I've been reading up on the different strands. I understand that there's kind of three ge kind of conference-wide strands that were decided on before the first call, and then the additional strands that were selected based on the results of the first call. So I more or less understand. I guess my question is kind of practical. How important is it that we choose the right strand, knowing that there do seem to be some overlaps across the different strands? Is it more kind of just a way of organizing the conference? Is it really that strategic from a applicant perspective to choose the right one, or can we afford to maybe not necessarily be perfect in our selection of the strand? So I guess that's a kind of first question for you.
Thank you, Carlos. I wonder, Joan, Marta, anyone would like to take this question? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I may start, but John, please complete and yeah, add on this. Of course not. There is no a good answer. There's not a good choice or a bad, worse choice on wrong choice on the strands. The idea of the strands is also to provide inspiration for submitters. So this is the first thing. And the second thing, I think we should go back to the philosophy behind all this. And the philosophy here is more to foster dialogues and exchange before the Congress. So this is the idea. In a way, the thematic strand is one source of inspiration. The other source of inspiration for you is also the people behind these strands, with which you can get this dialogue going on even before the conference. And this is something that we really want to foster, and this was the idea of these two double strands of proposals. Sorry, call for proposals. John, maybe you have some more brilliant ideas to share with the participants.
Oh, that would be a first. I'd say first thing, Carlos, I don't worry about perfection. We're never going to get there. That's okay. I think as best you can, as you think about the ideas that you and your colleagues have, trying to put them in one of those three big buckets, the methods, the learning, the responsiveness, as best you can. And if you're anything like me, you're going to have overlap between them because that's the work that we do. Um, do your very best, and then you're going to have to trust that Marta and I and the rest of the team, we're going to try to review it as written as best we possibly can, and then try to make good decisions. And by review, I mean not just us, but the other reviewers as well. So we're going to take it at face value that when you say this is around new methods, okay, that's how you're orienting the work. That's how we're going to interpret it, knowing that there's overlap between new methods and systematic learning, new methods and responsiveness. Don't worry about being perfect. Just be good.
Right. So thank you. So maybe just as a follow-up, so the idea is to pick one of those, either the three
Yeah,
kind of standard ones or the subsequent ones. So one
that's
of
right.
those in total, I think it's 15 or 12, I can't remember, right?
Yes,
That's right. That's right.
that's right.
So if, for example, you say you have a good idea and you think that you want to have the discussion at the conference, but it doesn't quite fit into the call for the Strand A proposal. So it doesn't, for example, fit with evaluating philanthropy in context, or it doesn't really fit directly with rethinking professionalization in vibrant democracies. That's okay. That means that you would put your proposal, your idea in the general strand. Only submit to the Strand A proposals, those very specific ones, the 16, if you think your idea really, really fits with those. Um, that's how I would recommend going about it.
Any
Just
follow-up question on that? Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely. And of course, we didn't say this. We're also available for questions afterwards if there are other follow-ups. If you have something you want us to take just a brief
Mhm.
look at, does it fit here? Just send us a note and we'll take a look at it with you. Okay?
And
Jessica.
to mention that we have the frequently asked questions as well on the conference website, and we'll keep updating that. So
Mhm.
yeah, so keep an eye on that as well.
Mhm.
Great. Yeah.
So my hand just lowered, but
Go ahead.
happy to go next. Thank you. Yeah, I think just sort of to kind of answer my question. My name is Jessica. I'm co-lead for one of the thematic working groups focused on gender and equity. And all of this is quite new. I've been going to the conferences and so I'm trying to kind of get my head around and um, I don't really know who is like, for example, those leading the very specific strands. Are they the reviewers? Will they be deciding? And also, I don't know what you meant, Marta, when you said we're
Yeah.
supposed to be kind of
Mm.
starting a discussion before the conference. Like, if we are supposed to be somehow collaborating with the people that have been selected to represent those strands,
Mhm.
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
is the method to contact them? What is the protocol? I'm not really sure I've heard anything about that. And so there is a question about kind of governance and process that I have, I suppose,
Mhm.
about this. And yeah, and also kind of to the last point that John made, if nothing really fits into any of the generic or very specific strands, where do they go? How are they categorized and how will they feel vis-a-vis the other very specific framing strands once the program is put together? So it's yeah, sorry, a few questions there, but yeah.
Yeah, Jessica, thank you. What I think we have two layers here of answers possible. First of all, the idea of having a dialogue before the conference is, of course, up to you. You are free to have it or not. And if you want to engage in this dialogue, you are free to do so in an informal way. It's not a procedure, it's not a governance system. It's up to you to get in touch with the people that are leading this trend, to get more knowledgeable about their own proposal, or to just ask a few questions in the preparation of your own submission.
Sorry, just on that, how will
Yeah.
people get in touch with them? Because
Yeah, okay. I think we are allowed, if strength coordinator is not against the idea, to share with you the contact of this person if you don't know them directly.
I'm also kind of talking, and I guess because I'm the co-lead of the thematic working group, I want to make sure I'm support other people who have similar questions. So I'm pretty sure that not everyone will have the personal email addresses and contact details for any of them, and I haven't seen them on the website. So that's why I wanted to kind of clarify that.
Yeah, just get back to us in written, asking for specifically the contact details you may need, and we will get back to you in confirmation.
So will this request need to be raised by every single person interested in getting contact details then?
I'm talking about strength coordinators, if it can helpful for you in the preparation of your own submission.
Right. Okay, but I'm talking about sharing this information with others. So will each person interested in having contact details will have to ask for this in writing? Or are you proactively sharing these details to enable that kind of
We are not
conversation?
proactively sharing these contact details to everyone, just for people that are interested in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And the second question was about the formal process, and here it's another procedure. The review of the submissions under Call B will go through a double blind peer review. And strand coordinators are involved in this process, but they are not the only ones deciding on this on the final decision of the selection. So they are involved in that, but they are not the only decision decision maker. Sorry, in the process. So this is another part of the process.
But presumably, if some of us in the community reach out and have conversations that shape a proposal, when they see that coming through, they will know, right? Because we have had those conversations, we might have shaped these, so it's not going to be blind on their side, will it?
Not on their side, but on the other peer reviewers involved. We call them the meta reviewers.
Okay, so you have two layers, but not both of them will be blind reviewed. One of them is going to be kind of potential in collaboration with the strand coordinators, and the other one might be blind reviewed, correct?
I think we are not fixed on the number of peer reviewers in total. At least two peer reviewers, plus one of the conference program committee. So it's at least three people. I cannot grant you how many people in overall will be involved in this peer reviewers if we include the strength coordinators.
Yeah, but I'm just clarifying, sorry, because it's very unclear, and some of the things actually are not exactly how they're described.
No, it's a very good
so
point.
It's really important to clarify the process. Yeah,
for sure, and we are aware that we have to avoid this potential conflict of interest with the strength coordinators deciding alone on this submission on the Call B, and the fact that the conference program committee is overseeing the whole process. Okay. And ownership. Oh, I may miss a question from you, Jessica, or is that okay?
So the whole review is How do you get in touch? And then, yes, what happens if nothing fits into any of the strands? How is that treated, and how will that
Okay.
feel and be framed in the final program?
Yeah. If you have,
This is also a question by Denise
Yeah.
Barrett. Yeah.
It's a really good question. I think what'll happen is so what happened for me when I was trying to orient myself to this particular conference. Again, I'm from North America, and so this is a different context for me. The Strand A stuff is kind of its own thing, and then the Strand B, the individual calls, is its own thing as well. And once I separated those two just in my head a little bit, it made it a little bit easier for me to understand. Within the Strand B, which is the part where we're at right now, the individual papers or roundtables or think tanks sessions, just send it to either the new methods or the systematic learning or the responsiveness, whichever one seems to fit the best. And that's going to have to be a judgment call on your side. Once those go out for the peer reviews, we'll get the reviews back and they'll say, "Yep, this is a great idea," or "It's a good idea and it needs a little bit of work, maybe next time around." Once we have all the ones that say, "Yep, it's a good idea, this is ready for the conference discussion," then Marta and I will put those together in other groups as best we can that seem to link together, similar to how most other conferences organize their sessions. So if, for example, you have several papers or discussions around indigenized approaches to evaluation or indigenized ways of interpreting information, we would probably put a lot of those together because it'll be that kind of a conversation on a similar topic. Does that help, Denise and Jessica?
I just had a follow-up question that I put in the chat there. What do you have a sense as to what is the proportion of the number of talks in any format that will be assigned to strands 0 to 16 versus call B? Because at the moment it feels like the kind of the oversampling is on what's there. And so I wanted to get a sense of what else are you making space for potential?
I appreciate that. And that's a really good question. Obviously, it's a good question, or you wouldn't have asked it. We have about, if I remember right, about half of the conference is organized around the Strand A's. So those sessions and those topics have been kind of categorized already. And about half is the open call. So all the other really good ideas that we still have to hear they're still waiting. There's still plenty of space for all of those. So about half.
Yeah, about half. And the reason why we don't have a precise number of sessions is also because it's still under consolidation, some of the strands. So I'm not sure that all the strands accepted under Call A are already sure 100% on the number of sessions including in the strand. So there is a few gaps here, but the goal for us was to have at least half of these sessions available for Call B. And if I'm not wrong, Fedor, we have a total amount of session that is 135 sessions for the 3 days. Just
Yeah,
to
around
give you
like
a
that.
rough.
Yeah.
But do you have that's a minimum, right? 50%. So could it be 70, 80% then once they complete that? Or do you have a limit for how much they will be taking space versus Colby?
I think for now we can say that call A cannot grow longer. So we cannot allow them to get like 80% in total in the program. So we really established it as a rule that for call B should be given like at least 50%, even more if possible.
Okay, thank you.
Carlos,
Yeah,
more
sorry. So
questions from you.
apologies. I thought I did understood, but I just want to make sure I get this clear. So if I'm currently planning to submit a proposal under call B,
Yeah.
and correct me if I'm wrong at any point, which I think the deadline is the end of March, if I'm not mistaken,
31st.
31st. In that proposal that I submit, I do have to select one of the strands listed on your webpage, which I think includes 3 conference level strands or 16 other ones. Again, so I do have to select one of those, right? And I'm just thinking about what you said, John, previously about think about the three big buckets, but that's where I'm not necessarily sure I understood. Do I think about the three standard ones, circumference level ones, or do I think about all of the ones, including the ones that were selected from in strand A?
Yeah, that's a good clarification. So as you read the 16 or so ones that we already have like the ideas for, so the call A ones, if your topic fits directly with one of those and you think would really add
Okay.
value to the conversation, then by all means please do submit to that one. And because what that'll do is that'll raise a little email or something to the people who put that together and said, "Hey, Carlos here has a really good idea. We take a look at it and see if this is something that could be included." Well, at the same time, you may want to consider the big conference buckets again because those are more general. Then we look at those on their own merits, and then if they're accepted, then Marta and I get the fun job of trying to see how do we put all these together so that we have a kind of a conversation
Right.
as a conference.
Right. Okay. It's like you're putting together strands ex post based on kind of the generic applications.
Yes, and good job on using the word ex post. I like that. It's too early in the morning for me to think of words like that. But yes, that's my understanding of the process.
Thank you for clarifying.
No, thank you. Thank you.
There are two questions, but also there is a follow-up question by Denise in the chat. Yeah, so like, if there is a preference for a full panel proposal or for truly individual papers that can be grouped together after review. Yeah, so if you can answer that, then we have Tim and then Florence.
Yeah, that's another very good question. There is, I mean, the best way is definitely to submit a full proposal that can be accepted as it is, without going through a lot of changes or reshaping after the review. So this is I think the best advice we can give to you after the process of the call A. So now for call B, yeah, really submit a full proposal that is 100% as you like it, as you want it to be, so that we can the peer review process can act on this and decide on the acceptance or not.
Yeah. Can I add to that just briefly? And Denise, it's great to see you again. I hope to see you in Lille. We'll have fun. It'll be great. So what you'll need to think about is, do you want to take the responsibility for the entire session? Because if you're going to put together something to take an entire session length, you can absolutely do that. And that's a different level of responsibility than putting together, for example, a one part, like a single paper or a single part of a discussion. If I it all depends on the level of engagement and the level of the depth of the conversation that you want to have. I think there's value in both. I think there's acceptance for both. It just really depends on you. And if it's helpful, I'm happy to bounce ideas with you later about what your idea is and how it might fit best into this format.
And thanks, John. I appreciate it. Sorry for being off camera. I'm not camera ready at the moment, so.
I never am. I understand. Tim, sir.
Tim
Hi,
and
John.
Florent, I think also, or Barbara, or many hands raised. Sorry, Hayat, it's up to you.
Yeah, Tim first. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thanks, Hayat. Hi, everyone. My name's Tim Leslie, based in the UK. Myself and a few colleagues are putting together a proposal. We're unsure about, so it's a proposal in which we would like to unpack some research that we're doing in some depth, and we'd obviously like to submit under Core B. We're just not sure about the structure of the different kinds of sessions, from the panels to the sparking discussions, and there's also the posters and the individual papers, etc. Do we stipulate, what kind of structure we would like to have, and then you see how that fits in? Or do we need to tailor our proposal to the structure of one of the standalone sessions that you've prescribed on the website?
It'll be best if you can specify the structure that would be best for you. Um, I'm just trying to imagine if I submitted an individual paper and then someone said, "Hey, you get to do an entire bigger thing." I think I'd tear my hair out. That sounds very stressful to me. So if you have multiple things together and you really want them linked in a conversation, then perhaps a panel discussion or a multi-paper is your better option. If you do that, though, the one bit of advice I'm giving to people who do that is try to have a discussant who can really set the context for your group of papers, and can help synthesize the discussion. So, for example, there was a group of people who wanted to do feminist informed evaluations in India as part of their panel, or their panel discussion. And I said, brilliant, that sounds wonderful. Okay, I don't understand the Indian context particularly well. It'd be really helpful to have someone who can set that context for me and help me understand the synthesis of these multiple discussions together. I'm not sure if I'm clarifying things, Tim, or just making them even more confusing. It's either one's possible.
No, you are. I guess our concern is that if we do submit it, we might only get a chance to speak for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, when we would actually like to unpack it for a bit longer than that. And I can't tell if on the website how long those sessions are per speaker.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to refer to Fedor specifically for the amount of time. Fedor, can you clarify how much time is in each session for us?
Yeah, so if it's standalone sessions, it's 90 minutes, like as planned. If it's individual papers, they usually took as a group, like maybe 4 or 5 of them together, and put into this 90-minute session. And also, actually, we have innovative modality that you can also propose if you want, because it might include something that like we don't list it really from the types for modalities, and you wanna like kind of do something differently.
Lovely.
That's very
Thank you.
helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fedor. I
Maybe
appreciate
if I
that.
can just add one more point, please also have in mind that the type of sessions that you are proposing is also a guidance for participants when they will be receiving the final program, to decide whether to go, the sessions, and which kind of level of engagement they attend, they expect on your presentation. So it's both sides. It's useful for both sides.
Awesome. Thank you.
Florent and Barbara.
Hello to all of you. Thank you very much for this session. Two questions. One maybe that has been already addressed, but maybe I didn't get the answer specifically because I'm a little bit thick. That's possible. And the question is, I understood that maybe if we apply for a specific, proposing a paper in one of those 3 first sessions, the generic ones, we might be reassigned to more specific ones, possibly. And the question was, if on the other side we applied on one of those more specific ones, is there a possibility that the proposal be reassigned to another one? I mean, in my case, for instance, I'm thinking of 2 possible papers. I'm not absolutely sure where they would fit best. So I'm some kind of relying on the, wisdom of organizers to just tell me or suggest me, well, you thought this would be the right one, but actually, if you don't mind, this other group is also very nice. So I wouldn't mind at all. So that's the first question.
Right.
Second question is, we are already on the 17th of March. The deadline is on the 31st of March. So now you see me coming. Will there be some kind of extension, or would that be envisageable that there would be some kind of extension? Marta already says no, but
My body language.
no harm in asking.
If you don't ask, you'll never know. No, there's no extensions this time, Florent. I
knew
wish
that. I tried.
that you knew that, but you asked. Let's look at it this way. So I'll use one of the Plan A strands that I'm apparently responsible for, talking about how some of the managing evaluations and some of the education systems support democracy, right? So, Florent, let's say that you've got a great idea and you submit it to me and my group, and I look at it and we say, golly, he's got great ideas. It just doesn't fit with what we're doing right now. Okay? Don't take it personal. It happens, right? It's about fit. Then though your proposal would go back to the general buckets, and then we would review it on its own merits. Because if we didn't, it'd be creating an artificially narrow window for you to apply, and that's against what we're trying to do. We want it broader, not narrower. Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't take it personal. Don't take it personal.
I won't. It's like the non-extension of deadline. I'm not taking it personally.
Okay. Well, you can take it a little bit. No, don't. Brilliant. Barbara, I know you.
Yes, hi, sorry. I'm Barbara Schmidt-Abi. I'm actually an EES board member and I'm part of this committee somehow, this program committee. So I know John and Marta and Fedor already in that capacity. But my question is, and I'm also a co-lead of a thematic working group as well, same as Jessica, but a different one. So my question is this time about an individual proposer for call B. So I am also in the boat. Okay, I have all these lovely strands, and of course I have my favorite. But I also have looked at all the others and said, "Oh, well, that is also." I see several cross-cutting themes between some of the strands, and they're all great. And now I'm also puzzled. Well, where should I put my proposal? Under which one should I put my proposal? And then there are also the level of sessions within strands, and there I'm now wondering, should I, as an individual poser for my own thing, should I now attach myself to session whatever 4 in strand 16, or should I put myself in, there's another one, whatever, 2 in strand whatever. And so which one should I put my thing in now? Or maybe a totally different one. So I'm actually also confused what to do, and or just to leave it general, or should I go for strand systemic learning altogether and leave it to you guys to find me a good spot? So what would be your advice?
I just maybe start, John, but please add if you want. I mean, Barbara, if you need advice, I would say that the most important thing for you, the very important criteria to have in mind is the relevance of your proposal for the conference team and the conference trends that is the most likely to fit with your own proposal. This is one of the review criteria that will be used through the process, the peer review process. That's the thing. The adapted strands to another will be decided afterwards. So the very 4 criteria for the review process, I copy and paste there in the chat again for everyone, are these 4, and the selection will go through these 4 criteria. So
yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah. I've got nothing. No, Marta?
Yeah.
Well done. Good job. Good job. I like the answer. I fully support this. And one thing that I hope you're picking up on, everybody, is that this is a neat thing. This is a chance for us to come together and have a good time. And let's just get together and have some good discussions and see how things go. You're submitting to a conference where people like each other, where we have good dialogue and good discussions. It's a critical, albeit friendly, review process. So I hope that's coming through. Carlos, more?
Just one more. If we could come back to modality submission types. I think that's the right term. So you currently have panels, fishbowls, birds of a feather, solution focus sessions, meet the evaluation, sparking discussions, plus individual papers, posters, and an innovative modality. I was curious to hear a bit more about the fishbowl slash birds of a feather. If you could tell us a bit more about what you were expecting there or what you had in mind, and perhaps also provide some guidance as to when something would no longer be a fishbowl or for birds of a feather and would become more of an innovative modality.
It's a really good question. Let me, Marta, do you have an initial reaction or Fedor? I'm going to try to find the description of them so I can give a better.
That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm sorry. I would love to share again the list because we have different types of possible panels, but not all are standalone sessions. So here, the very broader categories are these four. Well, I cannot. The standalone sessions is one type. Then you can also provide individual papers. Third type is posters. And the fourth type is we are open. Innovative modality, what you can suggest that is not expected. Under the standalone sessions, there are different types of subtypes of modalities, but these types depend a lot. The main factor is the level of engagement and the interaction that you expect and you want to create with your own participants. Now I'm taking more from my experience 2 years ago in the previous EES conference in Rimini, where the EES already used this type of sessions, and I was also curious at the time to discover. And I can tell you that, yeah, there are different types of engagements where you have a standard panel sessions where you can ask questions at the end, or you can have more engaging modality where you are not just the participants waiting for the speech and then reacting. You are part of the discussion since the very beginning. And this is up to you. This is not a criteria. We don't have special marks for if you decide to go for a fishbowl or rather for a panel. This is really up to you. It has to be coherent with your own content and the relevance of your proposal. So feel free to choose one of them without strategic considerations behind your mind. What we can value in the review process is, of course, the level of engagement that you want to create with the audience, but it's not just because of the type of session that you decide that you create or not, or you are innovative enough. So don't be, I mean, in the sense self-censorship, deciding one type for another. The important thing is the overall coherence of your proposal.
Mhm.
But yeah, this was a bit of of my answer speaking out loud. I don't know if John, you want to clarify some other points.
Yeah. I'm going to mention that Hayat is putting a good post in the chat that may be helpful for clarifying what some of those different formats look like. But again, I think the idea that the fishbowl, birds of a feather, are meant to be highly interactive, whereas some of the sparking discussions might be more about debates and friendly argumentation, I suppose. Just yeah, I think that's where I would probably come to. And Tim, you put a question in the chat about research on evaluation. My my impression of the Meet the Evaluation session is it's looking at an evaluation in practice from different lenses and different perspectives. I love research on evaluation. It's one of the things that I care very much about. I'm not sure that that fits the Meet the Evaluation the way that they've thought about that. That feels more like a panel discussion or an individual paper. And if you really want to do something on research on evaluation, let's have a chat. I do a fair amount of that, or reaching out to, for example, Bianca Montrose, Moorhead, or Stuart Donaldson, are some of the colleagues that jump immediately to mind. Let's have a conversation with them. But submit it. Absolutely.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Just to mention that the post I shared, it was for Rimini Conference EES 2024 with a description of each of these session formats. But we'll check with the team. If there is anything that does not apply for EES 2024 6, we'll make sure that that is posted on our frequently asked questions.
It is already online. I can confirm, and I can share this right now the link. We still hope you will be submitting a proposal.
We still have some time if anyone has any follow-up questions or you want to clarify anything else. Yeah, Barbara.
I know I was just intrigued by Tim's question about research about evaluation and your response to that. And I also have my proposal will also be about research of evaluation I've done. I wonder if there is there I don't know how should one flag that? Hey, maybe would it be possible to have a session about research on evaluation with different types of I don't know, but or should one can you coordinate that, or how would one or just wait and see?
Yeah.
I really don't know how to then flag that in any Colby proposal, this openness, or I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm just intrigued by this suggestion.
Yeah. Thank you, Carlos. Great to see you. So here's what I would probably say is when you're submitting your proposal, if you're not part of the group already, saying that you really care about this topic and sending it to the general call, and then trusting as best you can that Marta and I will try to put as many topics together that make sense as best we can. And if, for example, Barbara, you care about research on evaluation, welcome to the club. It's great. We have matching t-shirts. No tattoos yet, but we'll get those. Let's have a conversation between you and Tim and me, and let's see if we want to put together a panel or something like that. And I think that kind of goes back to the discussion that Marta was mentioning earlier about, well, this is a way of starting conversations early and seeing what things do we have to offer together. What we may want to consider in future conferences is, do we want to have a specific research on evaluation topic? I don't know fully if the appetite is there or the space is there, but it might be a really good thing for us to explore as a board.
Thank you for the session. I'm going to be going soon, but this was really useful. Given that I know all the colleagues have similar questions and concerns, can I suggest that maybe you improve the communications to like whatever is on the website and through the portal, based on what you learn and heard from this session?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Jessica, for sure.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Any other things, any other questions or anything Joan, Marta, Fedor would like to add?
Mhm. Oh,
I would just like to give Roberta
mm.
a chance. I see that I know you're on screen. I can see you, but you haven't asked any questions, and I wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity as well.
Hi, it's nice to see you all. I'm here as a little helper of Barbara and Liliana, but Liliana has to run and I am staying here with you. I have no question, but I am thinking with one of my colleagues to also have a strand for Colby, but we are still thinking of something for the young evaluators.
Oh, that's great. Oh,
Yes.
what fun. What fun.
Good luck, Roberta.
Yeah, very good. Well, we really hope to see all of your great ideas very soon. Just to one thing that I just want to mention, so I've reviewed a lot of conference proposals over my years. The ones that are more successful are the ones that are able to really make a clear line between your idea and the conference theme or the big buckets that you're going to share. Where I've run into trouble and where I see other people run into trouble is when they assume that the reviewer can make that connection on their own. So put it this way. I have a 13-year-old. He's amazing. He's got great ideas. He does not always communicate them as clearly as I wish he would. So that's a lesson for all of us. Get it out of your head onto paper so that people who aren't you can understand your good idea and say, yes, Florent has a great idea. It can fit over here. Or Roberta, she and her team have a great idea. It fits over here very well. Make it easy for us would be the thing that I would ask. The easier it is for us, the happier you're going to be.
It's not a question asked by anyone, but we may just briefly announce the schedule for the next 2 months, at least. I think, Fedor, correct me if I'm wrong, but as you know, and Florent, you know it, the deadline is 31st of March for Colby. Afterwards, the peer review we will be running from beginning of April, at least until mid of May. I mean, the latest mid-May, so that every submitters will be announced on their decision. And by the end of May, early June, the objective for us is to share the full conference program with session details and strands and titles, etc. It is important for the organizations to share this full program enough in advance to encourage people to participate, to come, to register. And this is also why we put a bit of pressure on the submitters to fit within these deadlines. Sorry for that, but it's also, given the summer break, it's important that we are ready by June.
And all the updates will be either on the website, on EES 2026 website, the conference website, or the EES website. We'll also keep you updated on our LinkedIn page, as well as our newsletter, monthly newsletter. So yeah. So I think unless there are any other questions or any other points you would like to ask, I would like to thank everyone for joining us. We'll share all your questions with the team to see if there is anything that's not covered in the frequently asked questions so that we add there. And yeah, and if you have any follow-up questions, again, Marta and I think the team has left their email, so feel free to contact whether Marta, Joan, or the CUNY team, and we'll get back to you. So thank you again for your time.
What a
Thanks,
treat.
Marta. Thanks, Joan. Thanks, Fedor.
Thank you,
See you
Hayat,
all in
for
France.
setting
Yeah.
everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you very
See
much.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.